Okay, so I'll bring my microphone a little bit closer to me so you can hear my Darth Vader impression if you like. So finding your connection to the ground in whatever position you're in. So that might be your sitting bones. I'm actually going to have a little blanket around me because I'm slightly chilly. We're just going to be here for 2 or 3 minutes. So if you're sitting with your sitting bones, don't have your feet right into your groin because that might put a bit of strain on your knees. So you could try and have your feet flexed a little bit to protect the knees and allowing the earth to just take your weight here. And taking in some deep, deliberate but comfortable and relaxed breaths. So breathing down into the abdomen. So of course the breath doesn't go all the way to the abdomen, but as the lungs fill, the diaphragm pushes down, and you might even place your hands or one of your hands on your abdomen and feel your belly rising and relaxing. And you might place your hands on your ribs. Maybe you can place your fingertips together at your sternum, feeling your ribs expanding as you breathe in and relaxing down as you breathe out. So allowing yourself to sit tall. On your next inhale, roll the shoulders back, down. So bringing the shoulder blades towards each other, creating space across the chest, opening the heart. And allowing your hands to rest on your thighs. So let's try some Ujjayi breath. So here we breathe in to the back of the throat. So we're kind of breathing in through the nose, and we can have the mouth open to start with. So we breathe in through the nostrils, and then we're going to breathe out. So it's might sound a bit like you're snoring. So I can't hear you, no one can hear you. So we breathe in, and then we're going to go outwards. So try and imagine your diaphragm pushing up. So we're breathing in through the nose, down into the abdomen, and then do that a few more times. Darth Vader breath. And on the next inhale, just see if you can find that pause before you exhale. So feel that fullness. Find that moment before you release the breath. You can even try putting your hand in front of your mouth and try and feel the breath on the palm of your hand. Or you can imagine it's like having a mirror and fogging up the mirror. So breathing in. And if you feel like you've got the hang of that, see if you can try and make the in-breath and the out-breath equal lengths. So you could count them in, so inhaling 2, 3, 4. And you could try this with your mouth closed as well. So this is once you've got a little bit of practice, or you feel like you've got this breath, and you feel like you have a sense of what you're doing, you can try that. So breathing in through the nose, and then so you're using the diaphragm to push the breath up. You might feel the glottis, the kind of throat feels closed at the back, so you get this air circulating at the back of the throat, and that's what gives you that raspy sound. But otherwise, just keep trying this with your mouth open. I'm going to try this breath a bit later on in the class as well, doing some poses. I'm going to do a little bit of an experiment, bring some curiosity. Now just allowing your breathing to come back to a natural, normal rhythm. Scanning through the body, noticing any areas of tension. Ujjayi breath helps to bring focus and concentration, helps us to be more present in the moment. So hopefully you'll feel a bit more grounded. That might have felt a bit strange, but hopefully you'll feel a bit more focused, leaving behind whatever you were doing before, setting aside whatever's in your schedule for later or tomorrow, and just being present here and now. Okay, so we're going to leave this posture now. So if you have a cushion or anything, you might want to remove that. I need a sip of water after that breathing. So we're going to come to all fours. So we have our hands shoulder width apart and our knees hip width apart, and we're going to do some cat-cow. So we're going to inhale, looking up and arching the spine, so bringing the hips and the shoulders up, lifting the head, gazing slightly up, and exhaling to round the spine, bringing the belly button towards the spine, and inhaling to come up again, exhaling down. Let's do 3 more of these in your own time, inhaling to arch the back in cow, exhaling to round the spine, while we're here, let's just rock from side to side. So let the elbows be soft and just swaying the shoulders and the hips from side to side, maybe making circles with the torso and the hips if that feels good, maybe a few times one way and then the other, and just moving in whatever way your body feels like it wants to move. So just there's a chance to tune into the body, feel any areas of tension or tightness, and just feel, where does it need to move, where do you need to loosen a bit, and then coming back to tabletop position when you're ready. So we're going to take one arm out in front and place it back down on the ground. So we inhale and then exhale the arm out, extending the fingertips away from the shoulders, creating space there. And we're going to do the same on the other side, and this time you can lift the opposite leg. So imagine if you've got them lifted, so we're trying to keep the hips square here, so using the core, engaging the core muscles here, and stretching from fingertips to toes. And exhaling down. Inhaling here. Exhaling to stretch out. Taking another nice deep in-breath here. Exhaling back down. Inhale here, exhale out, and this time we're going to inhale and bring our knee towards our elbow, maybe past it, rounding the spine, exhaling to stretch back out again. Let's come back in again on that same side, and back out, exhaling out, stretching out the arm and the leg. And one more time, inhaling in, rounding the spine, exhaling, stretching out. Inhale here, exhale to place the hands in the knee and the foot back down on the ground. So here we lift the arm on the other side, place it back down again. Inhale here and exhale the arm and the leg out. Placing back down on the mat as we exhale. Inhale here, exhale to stretch. Stretching, feeling that's the length in the body here. Inhaling to round the spine and bring the elbow and the knee in. Exhale back to stretch out. Inhale to come back in, rounding the spine. Exhaling that lovely length and stretch in the body. Last time, inhaling to come in. Exhaling back out. Oh, feel that lovely stretch for the last time. Inhale here. And then let's exhale to come back down. Oh, I think I really needed that. Let's come onto our backs. So we're going to just turn over and roll down for our Joe Wicks pose, our knees to chest pose. This is a really good pose for digestion. So if you have any blockages in your digestive system, this is a good pose. So you simply bring your knees into your chest, give them a hug, and you can rock from side to side if you wish. And then on one of your rocks, maybe make the rocks a little bit bigger, and then rock and roll over towards me, bringing your legs with you and outstretch your arms. So I want to look away away from your legs. So you've got your legs over in a nice supine twist here. So a nice spinal twist, a nice gentle one. And if you want to start to stretch the leg, especially the IT band, you can bring your upper leg, the leg that's on top, and have it out straight. And that will give you a nice stretch down the iliotibial band, down the side of the leg. I'm trying to keep the shoulders in contact with the ground here. Just breathing and relaxing here. Enjoying this gentle twist. Bringing the legs back in, so bring the knees back together and the feet back together if they've been apart. Breathe in to come back to centre and breathe out to change sides, so rolling over to the other side. And again, you can stretch out that top leg if you wish. Turning your head to the opposite direction if your neck is comfortable to do that. And that helps to keep the shoulder from lifting, so we try to keep the shoulders and the shoulder blades in contact with the ground here. So just breathing into any areas of tension that you experience in the body. Seeing where you can soften, where can soften in the body right now. Bringing your legs back together if you've had one leg out. Inhaling back into centre and placing the soles of the feet back down on the ground, or giving yourself another little hug and roll if you want. So you can do another Apanasana, knees to chest pose if you like. And then coming back to a seated position, so you might be able to roll yourself up. If not, come up to seated, however feels good for you. Okay, so I'm going to do a little bit of ankle mobilization while we're here. So you can just take one of your feet across, so just crossing one leg over, and just gently taking one hand and rotating the ankle. Try and let the ankle be nice and floppy, and then back the other way. Getting some mobilisation here. And then changing sides when you're ready. We haven't done a foot massage in a while, have we? Who remembers foot massages? I think I might do a poll and see if anyone wants to do foot massages in Mindful Body again. I don't know if anyone remembers those. Okay, and then just taking a little seat back, resting on your hands behind you, and then just stretching out the leg a bit. Let's just get the knee. Oh, my knee's very clicky today. Hello, clicky knee. Has anyone else got clicky knees? Is it just me? Yeah. So we'll just get that synovial fluid going in the knees. Let's give the shoulders a nice roll as well. I'm sitting in front of a heater as well. I should already be quite warm, but it's a bit chilly today. Oh, and let's take the wrists. So grasp the wrists, interlace the fingers. And so we can just get the fingers and the arms and the wrists. So we can do a nice little mobilization here. We can do a little wave. Okay, and then taking one arm across, so we're going to stretch out the shoulder. Just stretching the shoulder, just taking it below or above the elbows, just avoiding the joint itself. Dropping that shoulder. Clicky shoulders as well, and changing sides. Feel that lovely stretch, let the shoulders relax, drop down. Okay, I think we're ready to do some sun salutations. Shake out, move anything that you feel needs moving, that you feel you haven't shaken out or moved enough yet. You can do a little wibbly wobbly if you want as you come to your feet. It's always time for a shake and a wibbly wobble at any time in the class, and you can also always come back to child's pose. I'm just going to show you child's pose because if you feel like you're a bit tired and you need a pose to hang out in, we are going to come back to this, but I'm going to quickly show you a nice restorative child's pose. So you bring your big toes together, make a little pillow with your arms or your hands, and you just hang out like this. So this is a nice pose if you need to hang out at any point. Of course, the other pose is Shavasana. This pose is also good, and the great thing is they're both asanas. They're both poses, so you can still say that you're doing the practice, but they're nice restorative poses. Okay, so we're going to come to the top of our mat, the short edge of the mat. And we're going to begin in Tadasana, mountain pose. I'm going to face you for a moment to show you. You can stay where you are. So feet hip width apart. And we have our shoulders nice and open, so a smile across the collarbones. Palms facing forwards, arms relaxed. Slight bend in the knees. Core engaged slightly. So we're not zipping ourselves up, we've just got a slight engagement in the core. And nice neutral spine. So feeling the contact with the soles of your feet and the ground. Really feeling grounded. Mountain pose. Stability. Grounding. Let's take our mountain pose up. So let's breathe the arms up to the sky. Palms meeting each other in Anjali pose position. And if your back is okay, take a slight bend in the knees and exhale to baby back bend, only if your back feels good to do this. So I'm just going to take a slight bend here, and we brace the core and the glutes here to allow ourselves to be nice and safe in this pose. Take a deep inhale and exhale. I'm going to come down to forward fold. So forward fold for you might be here. So if you have got any dodginess in your lower back, you can hang out here. You could be here. You could be here. So choose your forward fold position, one that works for you. So wherever you are, to see if you can find a little bit of mobility in your hips and back here. If you can find a little micro bend in the knees, or even a big bend in the knees if you need to. So bend in the knees as much as you want. We're just going to hang out here for a moment. And then we're going to inhale to bring our palms, the palms of our hands to our shins, and we're going to have a flat back. And roll the shoulders back. And we're looking for length from the crown of the head, down the neck, all the way to the tailbone. So rolling the shoulders back, flat back here. And then as we exhale, we're going to take the arms up, bend the knees, and we're going to come into awkward pose, into chair pose. So we're like a bit like shaped like a lightning bolt. Biceps by the ears. If you can, bring the feet together and the thighs together. If you've got any lower back issues or if that's too intense, keep your feet at hip width apart. Either of those is fine, whatever works for you. So breathe in here. As you breathe out, see if you can sink down into your chair a little bit lower. I have lordosis in my spine, so I basically tend to stick my bum out. You might have a tendency to do that as well, so tuck in your bum if you need to. So inhale here, and we're going to exhale back down to our forward fold. We're going to take a step back with one leg. We're going to take a step back with the other leg and find ourselves in plank. So here we're on all fours. If you need to, come down to your knees. We're going to come down to our knees in a moment anyway. So engaging the core in this position, looking for strength in the core, and we're going to float down to Chaturanga. So see if you can keep your elbows by your ribs and come all the way down to the ground. And then inhale, exhale to draw the shoulder blades towards each other. So we've got the tops of the feet pressed into the ground, and we're just lifting the chest. And the idea here is to open the heart. So we're gazing just a few inches in front of us on the ground and bringing the shoulder blades towards each other as we open the heart. So hips are still on the ground, belly still on the ground. We're just doing a little baby cobra here. Let's tuck our toes in and push through the hands. Use your knees on the way if you need to. And you can push through to downward facing dog. If downward facing dog is too much for your back or for any part of your body, here is your option, puppy pose. So you can come from baby cobra and you can simply push back into tabletop, take your hands a little bit further and come down into this position. So think like a playful puppy. Okay, I'm going to join you back in downward facing dog now. Okay, look between your hands, bend the knees and take a nice step between your hands. And now I'm going to stay in this low lunge for a moment. So let's just hang out here. Allow the hips to drop. Allow them to be square. And we're going to take a few breaths here. So we're going to be on our fingertips. So fingertips. So that allows our chest to be open. So again, we've got this real emphasis on the heart, on the chest being open. Trying to keep the hips square. And lifting that back leg again and preparing to step back into forward fold. Lift your breath. We're going to go straight up into extended mountain pose here. Palms together. And we're going to breathe out and come back down to forward fold. Inhale to flat back extension, rolling those shoulder blades back. Engaging the core and looking for a flat back. So imagine someone could do the ironing on you. That's it. So we have our hands on our shins here at this point. That's it, lovely. And on our next exhale, we bend the knees and we sweep the arms up. So our biceps come by our ears. We can move our feet a little closer together if we want more. Pressing the thighs together, or keep your feet at hip width apart. And we're going to breathe here, sinking down. So you'll feel this in the thighs. And breathe out to come back down to forward fold. So we can step or jump back to plank position. And again, taking the option of knees or toes, we float down, keeping the elbows by the ribs and flat back. So engaging the core, we're going to try and stay straight like a staff. And inhaling through if you can. So come by the ground if you need to, but inhaling if you can to cobra. So again, we want a nice little soft bend in the arms here. Opening the heart, so we're going to pull the shoulders and the shoulder blades towards each other, opening the chest. Gazing straight ahead. Okay, now let's tuck the toes under and push on through to downward facing dog or alternatively puppy pose. So here, seeing if you can get the heels towards the ground and lift the hips, and press through the shoulders. So you can focus on one of those things if you're new to this. Maybe focus on getting the hips high and trying to get your heels down. Looking through between your knees. Taking your gaze to between your hands. And let's bend the knees slightly and take the other leg through. So the opposite one to the one you took before. Okay, let's drop that knee. I'm going to keep the toes curled under. Staying on our fingertips, lifting the heart, and we're going to take a few breaths here. And as you breathe out, every breath out, just exhaling the tension, allowing the hips to drop if they want to a little bit. So really allowing the hips to open. Lifting that knee. Preparing to step back to forward fold. Lift your breath up to the sky. Hands to Anjali position. Let's bend the knees slightly and exhale into a baby back bend. Engaging the glutes, engaging the core to protect the lower back. Inhale here and exhale down to forward fold. Inhale to place your hands on your shins, bringing the shoulders down away from the ears and the shoulder blades towards each other, engaging the core and looking for a flat back. So trying to keep a straight line if you can from the base of the skull all the way down to the tailbone. Lovely. Exhale back down. Step or jump back to plank. Engage the core, squeeze the bum. Squeeze the abs. Inhale here. Prepare to keep those elbows in and let's float down to Chaturanga Dandasana. Let's have a little challenge and see if we can hover here for a breath. And as we exhale, coming through. And you can come into up dog if you wish to. So up dog is where we also lift the hips. Otherwise stay with baby cobra or regular cobra. But here we have the knees and the hips and the chest lifted as well. So we open the shoulders. Bringing the shoulder blades back towards each other. And the real focus here, so I'm going to drop my knees because my heart isn't opening as much. So we really want to make sure that we can open the chest. Okay, let's take the toes under and push back to downward facing dog. Looking through the hands, stepping back that first leg between the hands. Dropping the knee. And this time let's take both of our hands here and place them, so interlace the fingers and place them on your thigh. And we're just going to be here and use that as a lever, so pushing your chest here, pushing your chest so it's nice and upright, not rigid but nice and upright, and allowing your hips to drop down. So you think we've got this simultaneous forces in opposition. We've got the lifting of the upper body and the dropping of the hips. Now you can uncurl the toes if you wish to. So we're lifting up the body and we're also allowing the hips to drop down. So breathing here. Keep pushing through your hands. Placing the hands back where they were. Lifting the back leg. Coming back through to forward fold. Oh, feeling that release there. Lift your breath up to the sky. Palms together. Let's exhale to bend our knees slightly and lean back into our baby back bend. Inhale here. Exhale. Let's find chair pose again. So we can have our feet together or apart, sinking the bum down, making sure that we're not sticking it out. I always need to focus on bringing my bum in a little bit, so if that's your tendency too, tuck your bum in. Bringing the biceps to the ears, breathe in here, and let's see if we can sink down into that chair. So imagine you're sitting back onto a chair. Oh, my quads are feeling this. I tried doing some squats yesterday and I can feel it. Okay, inhale here and exhale down to forward fold. So step or jump back to plank position. In breath here. Let's get that core nice and engaged, and let's gently, lightly float down all the way to the ground or come straight through to cobra or up dog. Bringing the shoulder blades towards each other, letting the heart shine through. Doing that lovely stretch in the lower back, in the thoracic spine too. Okay, let's tuck the toes. Just one last time. Coming back through to downward facing dog. Bring the heels towards the ground. Fingers spread nice and wide. Think bringing the hips towards the sky. And again, we've got that simultaneous opposing forces of the heels and the hips pressing in opposite directions. Taking your gaze between your hands, breathing in and breathing out. Let's take that knee down, toes curled or foot, top of the foot on the floor, your choice. Okay, breathe in here, opening up, and then let's take our hands again, interlacing the fingers on our thigh and pressing in. So naturally tend to slump a little bit forward, so pressing in and straightening the arms slightly. We're not going to have them rigidly straight, and then seeing if we can drop back down at the same time. So we're kind of using the arms and the leg here as a lever, and you'll feel that in the psoas muscle, so the muscle at the front of the hip. And the cat has come in to try out the yoga as well. She's heard it on the grapevine. It's the thing to do tonight. She heard Suki was doing it. So that's it. So chest nice and upright. Exhale, place your hands back down. Lift that leg. And let's step back together. Hang out here for a moment. Lifting your breath all the way to the sky. Palms together, and just exhale, bringing your hands to your heart. Let's finish in this mountain pose. We're going to move into standing strength. Just breathe. So I mentioned that I was going to bring in the Ujjayi breath again. I think it might be useful for me to turn, well, I was going to say it might be useful to help hold some of these poses. It would also be useful for me to turn off my heater at this point, because this can tend to get a little bit warm. And I'm hoping that I don't tread on a white furry being that seems to be in this room somewhere. She's gone somewhere. Okay. So, yeah, this is our standing strength pose. So, we're going to... Oh, there she is. Yeah, where were we? We were in our Tadasana. We were in our mountain pose. Let's start back in our mountain pose. So palms facing each other. We can take our feet a little bit wider if we want to. So inhale here, nice big inhale through the nose. And as you exhale, lift your leg and step nice and wide. So nice big wide step, lovely. Okay. We're going to take the foot on this leg, we're going to turn it outwards. This one is going to be facing it, the edge of your foot is going to be in line with the edge of your mat. I'm going to breathe the arms up. I'm going to sink down into warrior two. So we're going to make sure our torso is in line, so our shoulders are in line with our hips, our arms are out nice and relaxed. We've already done cat pose. So breathe in here. So we're going to try it and see if we can have our fingers in line with our shoulders. That's it, yeah, lovely. Then turn to face our fingertips. So looking out over the fingertips, feel the engagement in the core here. And we're going to sink down a little bit. So we're going to inhale and then sink. But what I want you to do is to acknowledge the outer edge of your back foot and to just take your knee out slightly so that it's out in line with your little toe. So I'm going to breathe in here and exhale to sink the hips. Checking that we haven't taken our torso with us. We are going to go there in a minute, but we're going to stay aligned here for now. And we're going to try that Ujjayi breath. So breathe in through the nose and do that. You can do it with your mouth open or closed. So breathing in through the nose. Excellent. Straightening that front leg now. Keep looking out over your fingertips and reach. So pushing this hip out this way and reach out as far as you can. And we're going to revolve into triangle pose. So you can rest your hand on your leg here. If you're like me and you've got hypermobile joints, so you might feel that your knee locks out. If your knee locks out, have a little slight bend in it. If you want to take this into a bit more of a twist, you can revolve your arm back slightly and really stretching from fingertips to fingertips, checking that you haven't pushed your bum out to the back there as well. And then exhaling, we're going to bend that front leg and come into reverse warrior. So sending that arm up, finding the back thigh. And exhaling, straightening the legs, turning this foot facing forward. Let's turn this foot the other direction. Breathing the arms up. Inhale here, exhale to bend that leg, taking the knee out over the little toe, really acknowledging and pressing into that back foot. Firing up the glutes and the back leg. The back leg can be really key here because it often feels like we've put all the energy and all the weight into our front leg. Leave the arms out if you need to, that's absolutely fine. So breathing in, and as we breathe out, see if we can sink a little bit lower. Looking out over the fingertips with that Ujjayi breath here, so breathing into the belly. On your next exhale, straighten the legs and come back up. Inhale here, exhale to reach forward as far as you can and then revolve. Find your shin. Again, if you want more, if you have the stability and the core strength and the practice, then you can just float here. If you want a bit more of a twist in the shoulders and spine, you can open up a bit more as well towards the back if you need to do that. That feels good. Just check that we haven't gone a bit wonky. Sometimes I'm going to show you from the side. Sometimes it can end up looking a bit like this. So we're going to try and keep it like this. Or we can move the arm back that way if we want to. I'm going to come back this way. Okay, so inhaling here, and on our next exhale, bend the front knee and revolve the arms back, finding the back thigh with the hand and reaching the front arm up. Going to reverse warrior. It's called exalted warrior or sun warrior. Lovely. Okay, let's bring the arms down. Take the feet so that they're the same width and they're pointing towards the corners of the mat. And we're going to take the arms out with the palms facing down. I'm going to sink the legs down into a wide squat, a really wide squat. Tuck your hips under, so we're going to bring your bum in, so we've got a nice neutral spine. Breathe out, exhale the palms up. Breathe in here and exhale the hands into cactus pose. So inhaling here, sink down on your exhale. Now we can try that Ujjayi breath again. So we're going to bring the shoulder blades towards each other a little bit more. So squeezing the shoulder blades, and if you really want to challenge your legs, you can even come up onto your tiptoes. You can try that if you wish to. Again, if you need to leave the arms, it's fine. You can simply rest the arms. If you need to do that, that's fine. So we're going to hold this for a little while, and this is where that Ujjayi breath can really help. So we're breathing into the diaphragm. I'm breathing out. Just focus on the breathing. Mouth open or closed. Thinking about breathing to the back of the throat. Hands up if your thighs are burning. Okay, let's one more challenge. We can do this. A few more seconds. Let's breathe the arms up, cross the wrists. Breathe in and exhale. Just sink a little bit lower. Okay, and release. Fantastic work. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Give the legs a shake. Have a sip of water. If you need to get a fire extinguisher for your thighs, that's fine. We can just take a moment or rejoin when you can. It does get easier, but it's still tough. Alright, so now's balance time. So now petals, it's time for flower pose. Don't know why I decided that Dame Edna Everage was an appropriate impression to do then, and it probably didn't come across. Okay, so for those of you who've done this before, you'll probably be familiar with this little routine. I'm going to change this soon, but I think we'll do this maybe one more time, and then I'm going to introduce you to dancer pose. Do you all know dancer pose? Dancer pose, I'm going to just show you briefly. It's a little sneak preview, but this is dancer pose, and I'm planning to introduce this in 2 or 3 weeks time. So I would love to see you all doing Lord of the Dance pose on my screen. But tonight I'm looking forward to doing our other routine. So pick a leg. Which leg feels the most friendly towards you? Just identify it, just say hello to it, and then transfer your weight into it. And then bring your other leg, so bring your knee into your chest. Ooh, get your wobbles out of the way. Wobbling is fine, by the way. And then we're gonna open out, bringing the knee to the side. And then sliding the hand down to the ankle. And you can stay here if you wish to. Hold on to something if you want. I'm going to just tilt. So we're bringing the leg to the transverse plane. So as I said last time, imagine that you're dusting a table. So you're going to use your leg to dust the table. And so, oh look, you see my foot is popped out the other side. So you see how it's on the transverse plane there. That's it, excellent, looking great. Oh, I have a little wobble there. And then from that position, if you can, if you need to hold on to something, that's fine. We're going to sweep back to Warrior 3. Woo. So I'm going to dive down into Warrior 3. So bending the leg that's standing and sweeping the arms back. And then coming back down to earth. Beautiful aeroplanes there. Yes, got flowers and planes. Okay, I'm going to do the same on the other side. So acknowledging your other leg. Breathing in, lifting up this leg, giving it a hug. Exhaling to open, and then revolving around. So trying to bring your leg so laterally. That's it, yeah. This is my favourite part of the class. I love seeing you all balancing like this, it's amazing. That's it, and this hand out, offering this beautiful flower, and then sweeping down into diving Warrior 3. And then coming down to land when you're ready. Okay, so let's do that again. Either leg. I'm going to do it 3 more times. Last time we're not going to do it with any hands. And you can do it in your own time, so you don't, I'm going to keep guiding you through it, but if you want to move through quicker or slower, then that's absolutely fine. So let's breathe in, and this time round the spine a bit if we can. So we're going to really curve the spine. And then open up like you're a flower blossoming. And then taking the ankle and bringing that leg around on the lateral plane. Foot pokes out, hello. And then sweep down, ooh, to diving Warrior 3. Touch down if you need to. Hold on to something if you need to, and then coming back. Same on the other side. So we begin by giving our leg a hug. Hi leg, I'm sorry about the squats. Blossoming out, blooming, and then our flower offering. Bringing the leg round, opening that hip. Lovely. Wobbles are good, wobbles are great. It's your body helping you. Sweeping back. Woo. Touching your hand down if you need to, it's fine. And coming back to land. Let's do that a bit more quickly this time. So bringing the leg up and opening and revolving and diving. Whoa, I don't know why my warrior 3 is so wobbly today. Wobbly warrior 3. And the other side. Hugging the knee, opening out, revolving, offering, diving. Oh, no wobbles that time. And landing. So I'm always curious to know what my balance is going to be like because it's different every time. So I'm sure that's the same for you. So this last time, we're going to do it with no hands. So we're going to breathe up. Breathe out to open, and this time with no hands it feels like flying, wobbly flying sometimes, revolving around and diving and landing, looking wonderful. So that's it, no hands, opening up to the side, revolving and diving. Sweeping back. Beautiful. And landing. Lovely. Okay, so that is our standing strength and our balance over. So in other words, we've got the hard bits done, and now we get to do some nice relaxing stretching on the floor. So I hope that feels like a relief. I'm just going to move my camera so that it's a little bit lower. So try not to look at the screen for a minute, I don't want to make you a bit dizzy. I'm just going to try and adjust the position. I did used to have 2 set up, but I haven't anymore. Oh, look, you can all see my Nero bag. You want to see my Nero bag? That was from a time when I could go out. Oh, right. I need to do a child's pose after that. Actually, I need to stretch out my spine. So why don't you join me for a little child's pose? So bring your big toes together, sit your bum onto your heels, and just have a nice stretch out. Oh, yeah, my back just feels like it needs a bit of release. So I'm figuring maybe yours does too. Okay, I'm gonna walk my hands back in now. Okay, so in fact that's probably good, because what we're going to do next is Setu Bandhu, which we haven't done for a couple of weeks, mostly because my back's been a bit dodgy. So if you've got a dodgy back as well, then just a little note here, that is a contraindication to this pose, so don't do it. Instead, what you can do is something nice for your back. You can give it a little massage with some pelvic tilts. So if you've got a dodgy back, I just invite you, hopefully you can see what I'm doing, is just literally tilting. Imagine you've got a bowl of water on your belly and you're tilting it forwards and backwards. If you've got a good back and your back is well behaved, then you can come with me. And this is not about squeezing the back of the body, it's about everything else, about opening the chest. It's also about cats walking across the screen apparently. Okay, so taking your hands underneath your bum and then just lifting your hips and really coming onto your shoulders here. So maybe walking your shoulders underneath you and thinking about lifting the chest, lifting the heart, and seeing if you can bring the knees in together a little bit. So we want the feet to be facing forwards, and there can be a tendency to splay out. I'm going to show you from this way. I'm going to show you what can happen. So what can happen is this as we lift up. What we want to happen is this, so that the knees are in line with the hips. Now if that means that you have to come a little bit lower, then that's fine, because that's the sacrifice that we need to make for this pose. So it's really about opening up across here. It's not about lifting the bum.
It's not about lifting the hips high. So if you need to lower down a little bit to focus more on the chest, then that's fine. So we're going to stay here for a few breaths. And on your next exhale, release the hands and roll the spine back down. Bring your knees into your chest. Walk from side to side. So I might bring that in again, and maybe we can gradually go to full wheel pose at some point. Now let's give the back a little bit more of a stretch. So it's taking the hands behind you a little bit. So you've got the hands bent here, feet hip width apart. We're just going to do like a little crab pose, like a little reverse tabletop here. So just stretching. So keep the arms nice and soft. We're just going to hang here for a minute. And gently coming back down. Hugging the knee to the chest again. And then taking the soles of the feet in the hands and bringing the knees towards the armpits, so bringing your thighs towards your ribs. And again, you can rock side to side here if you like. And then you can take your big toes if you want to and stretch your legs out. Give yourself a nice stretch in the legs here if you wish to. Oh, I just find this such a relaxing, juicy, stretchy posture. Oh, okay, bringing the soles of the feet together. Placing them on the ground. Taking the arms overhead if you wish. Otherwise you can just have them lying beside you, but you can take each elbow with the opposite hand if you like. Reclining bound angle pose. And we're going to transition into our Shavasana, where we relax and absorb the practice. So it's a bit of quiet time for you. So I invite you to stay for that. And if you would like to get a cushion for your head, a blanket for your body, please feel free to get that. If you want to put on some nice warm cozy socks, I've just spotted some that I have discarded before the class. And feel free to make yourself nice and cozy. This is the cozy part of the class, where your work will be rewarded with relaxation. Now if you've got any lower back issues, then the invitation here is to keep your legs hip width apart and soles of the feet on the ground, and you can just let your knees come in towards each other if that feels good. Or you can stay in bound angle pose if you want to, or if you want to you can lie on your side, basically whatever you find comfortable. But I'm going to guide you in Shavasana. In Shavasana we have the hands, palms facing upwards and elbows on the ground. Let's bring the shoulders away from the ears, allowing the eyes to gently close, letting the knees drop out and feet drop out to the side. And just noticing how your mind and your body are right now. Scanning through the body from the top of the head Down through the arms and the torso. Down the legs to the toes. Letting the body feel heavy. Effortlessly giving your weight to the ground. Relaxing the muscles in the face, letting it be soft and relaxed. Allowing the belly and the chest to soften as you exhale. Feeling the spine long and relaxed. Lengthening as it relaxes and space is created between each vertebra. Feeling the shoulders relax and drop down even more. The arms growing heavier and more relaxed. The hand soft and open. This time is to be a human being. A human being not doing anything, just being. Allowing the glutes to be soft, the muscles of the glutes and all the way down the backs of the legs just softening, melting into the ground. Being aware of the feet that support us most of the day. Allowing ourselves to be grateful for these feet that help us to move, to sit, to stand, to dance, to walk. This is their time to relax too. Soft heart, soft belly, soft face, soft mind, body heavy and relaxed, pleasantly comfortable as you breathe freely and deeply. Drifting into a warm, pleasant state of relaxation. Relaxing into emptiness. Like a radiant blue sky that you can just float in. A beautiful illuminating source of light that seems to have no point of origin but simply exists. Allowing your awareness now to rest on your breathing, like a raft gently moving on the waves of a lake, gently undulating as you inhale and exhale, relaxing, surrendering. Taking your hands and placing them on your heart. This amazing organ that helps to give us life. This amazing body that is with us every day through sickness and fitness, just allowing ourselves to feel the appreciation of being alive and feeling appreciation for yourself, for offering yourself this time to nourish and nurture your body and your mind. Allowing the corners of your mouth to turn upwards into a smile if that reflects how you feel. And keeping your eyes closed, rolling over to one side, maybe bringing your pillow or making a pillow with your hands and just allowing your knees to come up, resting here for a couple of breaths. And keeping the eyes closed. When you're ready, bringing yourself up to a seated position. You can just come into easy pose with your legs crossed. Feeling length in the spine, allowing the shoulders to be back and the chest to be open. Rubbing your hands together, allowing the hands to generate warmth, and when your hands feel nice and warm, placing them over your face, covering your eyes, parting your fingers and allowing your eyes to close, to open, and allowing the light to come through. And bringing the hands down the face, down the neck, down the body to rest. Thank you for joining me, sharing the practice with me again this evening. Namaste at home. We're in lockdown. Sorry, I couldn't resist. I've resisted for weeks now.
Thanks, Rebecca.
Thank you.